Poor John did not get to prove the potential of that boat, and here we see the clock winding down, just a few seconds left as the boats approach for the start of the Consolation, and the Australian boat Baberton is on the inside. You see him coming up, and he times it beautifully, Brock.
Boy, he sure did. He just put a hole shot on Jerry Hopp there and grabs the lead, and what's more, he's got the inside line on that corner, Steve, so if Baberton can hold together, and of course he's had some problems earlier, if he can keep that old boat running, he may have himself a win here in this Consolation. There goes Evans by on the outside. He's taking a long way around, and now we've got Hoppin as he had some problems. Remember, he picked up a fish in that first heat in his intakes. Apparently, he simply has not been able to get the boat running. So there, the blue boat in the left side of your screen falls back. There's Mitch Evans, currently running in second place. He hasn't had himself a whole lot of luck either today, so maybe that's going to change for him.
And here is the leader, Bill Baberton, the Victoria Speedboat Club number 41, who is leading this, as he did the final heat in the championship division, only to have some mechanical problems. The Australian team early on in some time trials experimented with a wing that they built right here in the pit area. Didn't like it, felt that they ought to run what they knew best, this particular wingless combination, and it has gone out and just performed beautifully, except for a minor problem in the last heat that caused the boat to stall. And down in the Australian pit area, Brock Yates is with Dick Carney, the owner of the boat and the Commodore of the Victoria Speedboat Club.
Did you diagnose the trouble?
Yes, we had a problem with the cutout switch that is the switch when the driver leaves the boat. It cuts the motor, and it's probably worth about $20, but that's the sort of thing that can keep you out of a boat race.
Well, it's running perfectly right now as Bill Baberton, VS41, leads this Consolation heat. What a thrill it would be after all the money they've spent and all the travel to take home something for their effort, even if it's just the Consolation.
Well, of course, Steve, in this kind of racing, you never do meet your expenses. These boats are incredibly expensive to run and campaign. As we see Mitch Evans running second and really unchallenged at this particular point. But there's no way you're going to make any money with unlimited hydroplane racing. This is a sport for rich men, and all you can really hope for is to collect a room full of trophies like Bernie Little had when he was talking with Ed a little earlier, Steve.
You know, the Mitch Evans hull and wing looks quite a bit different, Brock, than some of the other Thunderboats.
Mitch is also running a conventional Allison aircraft engine, Steve. In other words, that's a supercharged engine. Some of the other Allisons we've seen or run in unlimited hydroplane racing carry a twin turbo setup, but that's a kind of aftermarket deal. This is basically the way it came out of World War II aircraft.
That's right. It's a shaft-driven supercharger, a Roots-type blower. And here's our Australian who is just blowing around this course in VS41. Bill Baberton can smell some victory here, Brock, I think, at this point.
He sure can, and he must be saying, boy, if I had only had the old Bayswater bulk running that way earlier in the day and hadn't those parts failures, he would have definitely been an overall winner as opposed to having to run in this Consolation.
I have to agree with you, Brock. And certainly the most spectacular part of Thunderboat racing are those huge rooster tails with tons of water in them. And that has been really the trademark of the Thunderboats below these many years.
Yeah, I think it happened when they began to run what are called three-point hydroplanes. You'll see those boats really riding just on 3 points. 2 points up forward on the hull and on the prop. And once that kind of technology was developed and these boats began to run out of a cushion of air, those incredible, beautiful rooster tails began to come. In the old days, the boats just kind of plowed through the water like conventional speedboats. But now, really, they're more half airplane, half boat.
And the Aussie boat right now is running so well, Brock, he's about to put a lap on the field, trying to get around the third-place finisher, as it were. That would put him a lap up.
And that's not as easy as it looks, because as you can see with those rooster tails, you got to kind of navigate your way. It looks like Baberton on the right side of our screen is going to try to take everybody on the outside. He has that much speed in hand.
Well, something that has helped the competition today, Brock, is the water has stayed flatter than anybody thought it would. The wind did not come up in the afternoon. It looks terrific.
And that's a lucky break for everybody, Steve. This lake's only about 16 feet deep, and at that level can easily rile up to a point where they just have to cancel these kind of races.
Brock, here is Jerry Hopp coming around, or at least challenging Mitch Evans for the second spot.
Good race for second place. As we see Baberton behind them coming into the screen to overtake them. But, boy, Hopp and Evans are running neck and neck.
Well, that's Mitch Evans in the yellow boat on the inside and Jerry Hopp, the blue boat on the outside with the pretty wing on it. Race car looking wing. And it looks like Jerry Hopp is going to take second place here in the Consolation, and he does. Actually, the third boat through across the finish line will be the winner. This man who almost put a lap on the field, waving to his crew and the fans here, some 100,000 strong, Bill Baberton, BS41 from Australia.
He's got to be a happy guy, but a tough break for Jerry Hopp. He breaks out in the back part of the course, and Mitch Evans will go on to take second place in this Consolation event.